Hi, everyone. My name is Clayton Kistner, and if you're watching this, then I am probably your student's English teacher for this year. So the purpose of this video is to give you a little bit of information about me, some information about our class, and then toward the end, I'll get you my contact info so that if any questions come up throughout this video or throughout the entire year, you'll know how to reach out to me. So to start off, I'm a graduate of Kansas State University, though I spent the first 17 years of my life before I decided to go to K-State as a KU fan. So no ill will toward any Jayhawks who walk through the door, though you will have to look at a very large K-State banner that I have hanging on my wall. So apologies in advance for that. And then I don't have a picture on here, but I'm also a graduate of Mill Valley High School. So just down the road, like 5 minutes down K7 in Shawnee. I'm born and raised in the Kansas City area and moved to Manhattan for 4 years for college. And then I'm now back in Kansas City, and this is now my second year at Olathe Northwest. So a couple things that I like doing outside of school. I've been a band geek since I was about 10 years old, and I learned to play the clarinet at Horizon Elementary School. I have since transitioned over to saxophone, and then I transitioned even more into tuba, as you can see. And then in the bottom right, you can see the ensemble that I currently perform with, which is the Mid-America Freedom Band, which is a community band here in Kansas City. And just like schools, we are trying to figure out how to do what we do virtually. And it's been going pretty well. And so it gives me hope for what we can do as a virtual classroom as well. And then this is something else that I really love doing outside of school. I sit on the board of Royal Family Kids Camp Lenexa, which is an organization that puts on programs, especially a summer camp every summer for elementary age foster children in the area. So I've been involved with that for 7 years. I've been on the board for 1 year. So obviously that camp wasn't able to happen this summer, but we were able to get some care packages, as you can see in that upper left-hand corner for some of our kids. I drove some out to Lawrence. We had some kids in Leavenworth, Raytown, and then we had to drive one down to Wichita for one of our campers who had gotten moved homes. But it is something super close to my heart. One of my favorite times of every year, just being able to spend time with the staff and kids who are there. And it's one of the biggest reasons that kind of pushed me to pursuing education when I began 7 years ago. So I love it. Amazing. All right, and then just to introduce you to a member of my family, this is my dog Rigatoni, but she goes by Tony. I know my little webcam is blocking a bit of that last picture, but that is her attempting to eat my rigatoni pasta. So she might make her way to a school-related event at some point this year, but just wanted to introduce you to her because she is amazing. All right, so a little bit about our class. So the Kansas English Language Arts standards are broken up into these 4 broad categories: reading informational texts, reading literature, writing, and speaking and listening. So what we try to do throughout the entire year is make sure that your students are getting something from each of these 4 areas, because they really kind of commingle. To be a good writer, you need to be a good reader, and vice versa. So I can tell you that what we're going to be starting with this semester is some writing of what we call personal narrative or creative nonfiction. So I really like creative nonfiction personally because it incorporates writing, obviously. And then we're going to do some reading of some informational text in the sense that it is nonfiction, but they are creative nonfiction, which means that we're incorporating some of the narrative structures and skills of literature. So we really kind of get skill development in a lot of different areas. And so that's where we're going to be starting. And then we'll move into a little bit more literature. And then second semester, we'll lean more heavily on the informational, the writing, and the speaking and listening as we get into our argument units. So that is, what is a good argument? How do I write one? How do I recognize one? And all of that. So that will be all second semester. That's actually usually first semester, but we kind of flipped our semesters this year because we thought what we're doing now would work better first semester when we know that we're going to be virtual for at least a part of the fall. All right, so this is my communication information. My email is right there. The expectation for us as teachers is 24 hours, Monday through Friday, in terms of a response to your emails. So If you have any question, no question is too trivial or too small, please don't hesitate to let me know. And then the phone number there is just ONW's phone number. So you can leave a message, or before school or after school, we can always set up a phone call if it's a conversation that we need to have that would be just more efficient rather than email. And then a lot of the place where you're going to find some materials to be accessed this year will be on what's, I believe, called your class website on Parent View and Student View. It has a different name on Teacher View, but I think for y'all, it's the class website on Parent View. And so that's where you'll find our daily agendas for every single day. You'll even be able to access the texts that we're reading if they're linked on there. So that's also obviously where you will find grades. Nothing has really changed on the grade front in terms of how you access those on Parent View, but you will have access to just kind of what's going on day to day. And so if you ever want to check in and see what's going on, you can check on that class website. All right, so thank you for watching this video. I know you've probably got 6 other videos to watch as well. So I am really looking forward to this year. I know that it's going to be very different than what any of us are used to or even anticipated for this year. But I think we all have a really awesome opportunity for our school and our community to come together for what's best for our students. I am super excited to work with all of you for the betterment of your students. And I know that I work with amazing colleagues in my department and throughout all of ONW that are really excited to do the same. So again, please feel free to reach out to me with any specific questions. The syllabus, which has some of the more nitty-gritty details, will be available on Parent View soon. Probably if you're watching this, it will be available. So look out for that. I didn't want to get into all those details just because that would be a much longer video than this. So reach out to me with any questions, and thank you very much.